Go.
Right, who are they all at the moment?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are all having a fantastic conference. I've been given a very short window to be able to use the mic, and I will be very respectful. And while we have a few of you here, I am from Forced Adoption Exposed. There is not an MP or member of this constitution who has not had an email from me to halt the adoption drive. Currently, in the UK, a child is being taken every 20 minutes. There are 100,000 children in the foster care industry, and I call it an industry because it is a profitable business. There are children for adoption. We beg you to release...
I prevented adoption.
Brilliant. We beg you to stop the 100,000 children that are currently in this system without their parents. Somebody just came over, so I missed what I was about to say. But in 2004, David Cameron, what's his name?
Blair.
Tony Blair set targets of 1,000 children to be removed a month. Targets. Genocide. To remove children from the womb to take them for adoption. Now the question that we have to ask is this country funding an adoption drive, or do children need adopting? I stand here before you as a mother that in 2 weeks' time will face an adoption order on 2 of my children. I am Kellie Cottam, I am Benefit Britain, I am Step Up Britain, and I am the mother in 2010 who was in the media to say that the benefit system needs to change. That the benefit system should be a bridge. It should never be a way of life. For coming out of the benefit system, they took 2 of my children. They committed perjury to remove 2 of my children. They falsified evidence, and they used my foster care file against me to take my children. I am gagged. For standing here now, I will be back in the Royal Courts of Justice to face a further committal to prison. And I will spend another possible 2.5 years in prison for speaking out about the abduction of my 2 children, which is done by your council. And it is not just happening to me. I am Forced Adoption Exposed. I have a website. I have 11,000 parents who have had children forcefully removed from them in the UK by our county councils. It is not the social workers who remove the children. They are but witnesses. It is the county councils. On top of the court paper, it is the county councils. It is these constitutions that are removing these children. Child is being taken every 20 minutes. ITV exposed it. Social workers are speaking out. There are whistleblowers in the police. There are whistleblowers in social services.
Whistleblowers.
Give it a round of applause for John Hemmings.
Yay! John Hemmings!
MP with balls and a backbone to say and speak out about what's going on. And I have spoken with many of you over the last few months, and you all politely send me a letter to say that it's not our constitution. In your own constitution is children being taken left, right and centre. Now, CAF do not even meet with the parents. I have yet to meet one family who I deem as an abuser. I have read thousands of cases. I have not found one abuser because these children are being taken for possible future emotional harm. And they are going through a 26-week court process, and they are coming out the other end with their children up for adoption. You ask what is the root of the problem in this country. It is what you are doing to our families.
Correct.
It's the fact that you are separating families. And I beg every MP to halt the adoption drive, to call an inspection into the failures of social services because they are scared. And if you want to know how bad social services are, look at the papers today. Look at the papers today of the young baby, sorry, he's not a baby, he's a boy, of the family who went over to Spain. If they had not been in the public eye, this is another family that would have been separated in the secret courts. James Mumby, the head of the president of the
child stealer,
says it himself. There is something bad going on in the secret courts. James Mumby himself is saying that these courts need to be opened. And it is these MPs that need to stand up and say that we need to call an investigation into social services, and there is corruption. You know it yourself. I have been exposing the paedophile circle in your government for years.
Yeah. Clean up family
And
law.
I'll tell you what, if I'm the next Jill Dando, so be it.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, where do you think the paedophiles get the children from? From foster care. I have thousands of people from foster care willing to speak out about the MPs that have been sexually abusing them. And I will name and shame every single one of them. And if anyone wants to put a bullet to my head, then so be it. And we need the good people. We need the good people who believe in families. We need people to stand up for families first.
Yes.
Lucy Allen.
That's what will get you
Brilliant.
votes.
Lucy Allen, an MP herself, had a child nearly removed from her too. For what? Going to the doctors to say she had depression. And I tell you, if you force people onto medication for depression, you are causing a bigger problem in this country. So I beg and I ask every person to please look at forced adoption exposed. And I'm here today joining the dance.
Yeah. Yeah. Mothers, fathers and grandparents.
I am a mum. And at the end of the day, what do you want me to do? And yes, I am close to being on that roof. And the police know it. And everybody knows that I've got 2 weeks to save my children from adoption. Google me, Benefit Britain 2010. I went up against George Osborne. I've got the newspaper here with my children in it. They falsified evidence because I was exposing what was really going on in this country, and they took my children. 2 weeks' time, 2 of my children, Aaron and Faith, will be adopted, along with many, many, many other parents who are currently facing children being taken for forced adoption. There are targets, people. Get rid of the targets. Yeah. At the end of the day, let's look at it this way, and then I will leave you to your day. There is currently 1,000 children a month being taken for forced adoption. This country is about to have to apologise for the forced adoptions that's been going on for the last 30 years.
And compensation.
And compensating every family. Over in Ireland, they are now speaking out. Philomena is speaking out. She is asking for Philomena law for the birth certificates of people who were adopted. My mum was 15 when she fell pregnant with me. I slipped through the net because my nan stood up and took me. I would have been one of them forced adoptions. And now I face 2 of my children who will become a forced adoption. And when they turn 18, if I don't get to see them until then, I will still be your biggest nightmare. Because I will go away.
Want to see our kids?
We are growing day by day by day. I use social media every day to connect with more and more and more parents who are forced adoptions. More and more children are speaking out about being taken by their parents. More and more children are coming forward to say that they were told that their parents abused them when they didn't. I am connecting more and more parents and children together who were torn to pieces. If you do not deal with this situation now, you are creating a future massive problem.
Genocide.
And this has to be dealt with now. You are not Hitler, yet you seem to believe that you work for him. Because what is going on now is genocide.
Yep.
What is going on now is basically tearing down families. If I went to Super Nanny and I said, my kids are doing my head in, she would help me.
They were...
But if you go to social
Like,
services,
I was born
because of baby P, they will throw you into the 26-week court process and you will come out the other end with your child on long-term foster care or in adoption. Foster care children do not have visits at Christmas or birthdays or Mother's Day or Christmas holidays.
Yeah, but what about all the ones
Some people only get to see their children for 2 hours twice a year.
They are.
These are children. It is not about us as the parents.
The 1,400
It is
children in
about the children. These children are growing up with depression. They are missing their parents. And the guy, I can't think of his name, he's the guy who basically says that adoption is the best option. He used to be your head of education. He basically has been driving this adoption drive because he was adopted. Because for him, it was deemed a success. Well, I've met his mum, and his mum was not an issue. His mum actually loved him, and he too was a forced adoption. He just doesn't know it. Because it's too much out there saying how adoption is so great for children that he is driving this adoption drive. You are releasing billions of pounds to the adoption. And yesterday I had to watch on the TV how they had adverts for the adoption. You are putting pictures of children up for adoption. These are not puppies, these are children. These are children being advertised in papers, magazines, advertised as puppies. These are my children. This t-shirt here, someone turn that over. These 2 children are my 2 younger children. Do they look abused? I have an 18 and a 15-year-old. My children are now 4 and 5, Aaron and Faith Cottam. I beg you to remember that name, because if they are adopted in 2 weeks' time in Flintshire County Council's court, I will become your biggest nightmare, worse than Fathers for Justice. I will become this country's enemy, and it will no longer be Step Up Britain for the best interest of this country. I will destroy it, because you've got my children, and I am a mother, like a lion, who will do anything to fight for children.
Yeah.
And we love our children, and we will do everything to protect our children. The local authority who has my children is Flintshire County Council, where Cheryl Osberlin falsified information and PC Lewis fabricated information. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and please don't call us disabled.
Sorry that
I really wish you would rebrand disability. Enable us, don't disable us.
Come round and have a chat with us in a minute, mate.
Flintshire County Council.
You can go out that gate.
I have written to every MP and no one will help me. Nobody has the balls to do anything. Even John Hemmings is inundated with the amount of people coming forward, and he is on his own. We need everybody to stand for families first. It doesn't matter how much somebody is struggling, you should be supporting families. Remove the targets, halt the adoption drive, call a public investigation into the unlawful removal of children. Bhupesh Navara, the father, who was all over the papers to say that he did not name his child and assaulted a social worker. I was at the hospital when 20 police officers removed his child. I have witnessed children being cuffed and removed from their homes.
Disgusting.
I have witnessed parents being beaten by police officers. I have